from Romero. Ooh, got left. Yeah, and he's doing that.
You don't need to make Gervonta Davis against the guy who pumps my gas, and because you need him to keep manufacture this star continuously. You know, like Gervonta's a very.
If he want to retire with the career that he got, then go ahead and do whatever you got to do. So. I disagree with it. I think it's so.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has recently faced criticism for some of his recent choices, which many believe are negatively affecting both his career and the sport of boxing. Numerous boxing experts argue that while Davis is incredibly talented, his poor decisions and lack of focus could ultimately lead to him becoming just another average fighter. There's a growing concern that Tank may be too satisfied with mediocrity, and this mindset could hold him back from reaching his full potential in the sport.
You know, the Gervonta Davis fight with Lamont Roach. Lamont's a good fighter. He's a perennial contender. He's been a contender for his whole career. I think he's been pro for about a decade. I can remember him all the way back in his Golden Boy days. Was, you know, solid perennial contender. Always came up just a little short end.
Good body shot. Throw that right so he can.
The past few weeks have been quite eventful for Gervonta "Tank" Davis. In early December 2024, he shocked fans by announcing his retirement from boxing, only to follow that up with mixed messages about his upcoming fight against Lamont Roach Jr. Then, just last week, Davis got into a heated online exchange with Terrence Crawford. However, Davis still has a fight scheduled to defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. on March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. As of now, there's been no official word about the fight being canceled. Tank Davis also teased that he would reveal his next opponent soon, which seems to be pointing toward a rematch with Ryan Garcia. Garcia, who was suspended for a year after testing positive for Ostarine in his fight against Devin Haney, will be eligible to return to the ring on April 20th, 2020.
Do you still think that fight's possible? I know he might have a break after that fight with Lamont Roach, but do you feel like you guys could fight 2025 or 2026?
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has big plans for 2025, including possibly retiring after just 3 more fights. After his bout with Lamont Roach, he could have 2 remaining spots on his schedule, one of which might be a rematch with Ryan Garcia. However, Garcia isn't the only one voicing his opinions. A former 2-weight world champion has called out Davis, criticizing the undefeated fighter. Tank has earned his place as one of boxing's top stars thanks to his incredible—
That was a good left hand right out of the box. Very strong
power, speed, and ability to finish fights with knockouts. Davis became one of the youngest champions in the sport at just 22 years old, securing titles in multiple weight divisions, including super featherweight, lightweight, and super lightweight. Throughout his career, he's defeated notable opponents like Leo Santa Cruz, Mario Barrios, Rolando Romero, and Ryan Garcia. As of 2025, Davis remains undefeated, though his activity in the ring has been limited. His last victory was over Frank Martin in June 2024. Fans have been eagerly awaiting bigger matchups, including potential unification fights against top names like Shakur Stevenson or Vasyl Lomachenko.
And also very experienced at this point now. He's fought and seen pretty much every style there is, and his power.
In a recent interview with Fight Hype, Paulie Malignaggi shared his frustration over Gervonta Davis choosing opponents he considers to be less challenging. When it was announced that Davis would face Lamont Roach, a super featherweight champion moving up in weight for the fight in March, Malignaggi expressed his disappointment. He said, "If Lamont Roach had defended his title 4 or 5 times at lightweight, I'd be more interested. But right now, it feels like Davis is just recycling the same fighters. He's not progressing, and it's hurting the sport just to line his pockets." Malignaggi continued, emphasizing that he defends the sport and wants to see the best matchups. He added, "Don't expect me to be entertained by these B-level fights just because they're pay-per-view."
A python is a dangerous animal, and I gotta see a python take on an alligator. I'll say, okay, well, why do I gotta watch a python taking on a turkey or a rooster or a chicken? Why do I gotta watch that? I already know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? That's a slaughter, right?
and another left hand. It's 4 punches thrown. They've all been effective.
While the main event may not be everyone's favorite, the undercard for this Brooklyn event is certainly drawing attention. World Boxing Association super lightweight champion Jose Valenzuela will defend his title against Gary Antoine Russell, and World Boxing Council super lightweight champion Alberto Pello is set to face Sandor Martin. Gervonta "Tank" Davis has announced that he plans to retire from boxing at the end of this year. Fans, along with Paulie Malignaggi, are hoping Davis makes the most of his final 12 months in the sport. However, World Boxing Council lightweight champion Shakur Stevenson has recently changed his thoughts on Davis's retirement plans.
You know what? You would give it a Nile River crocodile or alligator, And when I confuse alligators and crocodiles, but whatever. Give it a Nile River alligator,
Yeah, as he follows through. And with this...
In December, WBA lightweight champion Gervonta "Tank" Davis shocked fans by announcing that he plans to retire from boxing after 2025. He expressed frustration with the politics of the sport as a major reason for his decision. Davis confirmed his plans to retire after his next fight, which is scheduled for March 1st, 2025, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. In this bout, he will defend his WBA lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. The fight, originally set for December in Houston, was postponed for undisclosed reasons. This upcoming match could be Davis's final opportunity to cement his legacy in the lightweight division before stepping away from boxing.
All right, bro, you know, you got me interested. You're like, all right, bro, let's see who wins this. You know what I mean? It's a fight, you know, obviously we're not fighting to the death in boxing, but nonetheless intrigued.
Gervonta Davis's decision to retire at the height of his career has caused a stir in the boxing world, sparking a range of reactions. While some people criticize him for stepping away in his prime, there's no denying his impact. Davis is known for his explosive fighting style and powerful knockouts, which have earned him a spot among boxing's elite. As his retirement draws near, debates about the legacy he'll leave behind will become a major topic in the boxing community in the coming months.
Chasing people around, I mean, if he's willing to fight, I'm ready to fight, and I think it should happen, but I ain't gonna lie, I can't sit there and chase him.
Romero thinks he can hurt him because he's going after him now.
Shakur Stevenson has shared his thoughts on Gervonta "Tank" Davis's retirement decision, expressing his disagreement. Speaking to Fight Hub TV, Stevenson said, "If he's going to retire with the career he's had, then that's his choice. I disagree with it. I think it's soft, but that's on him." Stevenson continued, "I'm not going to chase anyone around. If he's ready to fight, I'm ready. It should happen, but I won't sit around chasing him, and I'm not going to act like I need him, because I don't." If Davis retires without facing Stevenson, boxing fans may miss out on one of the most eagerly awaited lightweight matchups in years. Meanwhile, Stevenson, the World Boxing Council lightweight champion, is preparing for a fight with rising star Floyd Schofield Jr. on February 22nd in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
You know, he's trying to make it seem as though I need him and I don't need him, so.
Lands a hard left hand and pushes Tank down.
Davis using the whole...
As 2025 approaches, Davis seems set on retiring, hoping to solidify his place as one of the greatest fighters of his time. However, fans are still hoping he'll deliver some unforgettable fights in his final year. Former four-division world champion Mikey Garcia weighed in on the matter, suggesting that a unification fight against Vasyl Lomachenko would be a more exciting matchup than one with Shakur Stevenson. Garcia praised Stevenson, acknowledging his skill and talent, saying, "Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter. He has the talent, skills, and boxing ability. His footwork, speed, reflexes, and counterpunching are impressive," Garcia shared with Fight Hub TV.
I'll tell you why. I'm not a big fan of that fight. Now, I do believe Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter as well as the skills go. He's got the skills. He's got the talent. He's got the skills. Great boxer.
Although Mikey Garcia spoke highly of Shakur Stevenson's skills, he made it clear that he wouldn't want to see him face Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Garcia pointed out that Stevenson's approach to boxing would be more technical and less aggressive, which might make the fight less exciting. He explained, "Shakur Stevenson is a great fighter, but he's the type of boxer who will stick to his game plan and box, no matter what critics or fans might want to see." Garcia emphasized that he'd rather watch Tank fight someone like Vasyl Lomachenko, who, even though he's also skilled with footwork and speed, is known for his more aggressive fighting style. Garcia believes a fight between Davis and Stevenson wouldn't have the same level of excitement. As for the long-anticipated matchup between Davis and Lomachenko, it remains uncertain if that fight will ever happen, especially after their planned bout last November fell apart.
Because Shakur Stevenson is the kind of fighter that he's gonna fight his fight regardless of what the critics or fans or anybody wants to see. He's gonna fight his fight, which is fine. That's his style. He's gonna be a boxer.
Vasily Lomachenko, a three-division world champion who currently holds a lightweight title, has yet to defend his belt, 8 months after winning it from George Kambosos Jr., with an 11th round stoppage. Lomachenko was supposed to meet a 60-day medical extension after his victory, but he missed the deadline, which expired on January 11th. This led the International Boxing Federation, IBF, to order contenders Raymond Muratalla and Zor Abdullayev. to face each other for an interim championship. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson, who is getting ready for his lightweight title defense against Floyd Schofield on February 22 in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, is also dealing with his own challenges. Though Stevenson is known for his impressive record, he's received criticism for his passive style in recent wins over Edwin De Los Santos and Shakur Stevenson. To secure a potential fight with Gervonta Davis, Garcia says Stevenson will need to be more aggressive in his approach.
He's got the talent, he's got the skills, great boxer, super talented with footwork, with speed, with reflexes, counter-punching ability. He's one of the very, very best. But I'm not a fan of that fight.
We talked about the jab that Romero's using, really effective.
A fight with Shakur Stevenson might not be as exciting as some fans expect, and that's why Garcia believes it could be harder for Tank to land some big matchups. Until then, Garcia doesn't think Tank should fight anyone who isn't a serious challenge. Davis, of course, needs to first take care of business against Roach on January 1st, 2025, in Washington, D.C., before thinking about opponents like Lomachenko, Stevenson, or anyone else. With Davis's experience, skill, and power, Garcia is confident that he'll be too much for Roach, who is moving up to fight at 135 pounds. Garcia thinks Tank will probably win this fight as well, noting that Davis has already proven himself in the ring. The London Ring Awards this weekend saw the biggest names in boxing come together to celebrate the sport's top talents. However, one big name was noticeably missing: Gervonta Davis. Despite announcing his retirement for 2025, Davis has an unbeaten record with 30 wins, 28 of them by knockout, which places him among the best in boxing. It's likely that Tank wasn't invited due to his strange relationship with Riyadh Season and Sheikh Turki A-Leak, who also happens to own Ring Magazine. It seems the lightweight champion wasn't happy about being left out and felt slighted by the decision. Gervonta Davis posted several messages on his X, formerly Twitter account, but later deleted them. Terence Crawford took the opportunity to mock Davis, sparking a heated exchange on social media that continued through Tuesday. Davis, clearly upset, quickly followed up with more deleted posts, where he criticized both the event organizers and the attendees. While the exact reasons for his absence from the Ring Awards are still unclear, it's evident that Tank Davis is not on the best terms with the Riyadh Season team. However, he did receive a response, and it came from none other than Terence Crawford. The two champions, Gervonta Davis and Terence Crawford, have been going back and forth for some time, exchanging insults and taunts. Recently, Crawford, who had a meeting with Turki A-Leak, might be getting closer to a major fight with Canelo Alvarez later this year. Taking a jab at Davis, Crawford couldn't help but laugh, saying, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring Magazine gala. I remember being left out. That's why when they let me in, I crashed the party," along with some mocking emojis. This was in response to the posts that Davis deleted, though some users managed to save them. To understand why Crawford fired back, it's important to look at what Davis had posted earlier. Although Gervonta Davis's posts have since been deleted, some publications were able to capture and report on them. In one post, Davis questioned, "Why didn't they invite everybody?" He then added, "But they invited people they deal with. Get out of here, stop bum-aiding." It seemed like he was pointing fingers at Eddie Hearn as he continued, "Look at that little rat, thinking he came up on something. Now tell them all to fight each other since they have a heavy roster." Davis also had words for Turki A-Leak, first suggesting that the guests should all take the opportunity to fight one another. He then criticized the Sheikh, claiming he didn't know anything about boxing.
Davis slowly finds his mark while Romero doesn't land much of anything in the round.
In another deleted post, Gervonta Davis criticized the head of the Riyadh Season, saying, "They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not good at anything. If that's the case, why isn't he helping to develop fighters from where he's from?" Davis continued, "This guy knows nothing about boxing, and yet they're turning to him." It was clear Davis wasn't impressed and believed that the focus should be on supporting boxing talent from the right places. On his account, Gervonta Davis went on a rant, pointing out that, unlike him, many fighters are willing to leave America to make money, but in the end, they end up fighting in front of small, almost unnoticed crowds. The back and forth between Davis and Crawford continued on Tuesday. Apparently, things heated up when Davis bragged to Terence Crawford about having more money. Crawford's response didn't sit well with Davis, who took to his account once again to call out Crawford, criticizing him over how much money he supposedly has. Those posts were also deleted later.
Both of them are not trying to make mistakes. The last fight, he was in, he injured his left hand.
In his response, Terence Crawford told Gervonta Davis, "I still make more money than you. You all think he's chasing greatness, but he's not. He's just doing what he has to do to make decent money. The first thing a rich man tells another rich man is, I have more money than you. I bet I have more investments than you, and I don't owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy anything I can't buy or want, and that's a fact. Let's see who has the longer-lasting money, smart boy." Davis didn't hold back in his reply either, throwing some insults back at Crawford. Fans might find it interesting that during last year's press conference for the Lamont Roach fight, Davis shocked everyone by announcing that he would retire from boxing by the end of 2025. If Gervonta Davis plans to retire by 2025, many might wonder why he'd be bothered by something like not receiving an invitation to the Ring Magazine Gala. However, this isn't the first time Terence Crawford has taken a shot at the Baltimore fighter. After Crawford defeated Errol Spence Jr. and became the undisputed champion, he heard about Davis claiming he could beat him at 147 pounds. Crawford wasn't pleased, and it seemed like another chapter in their ongoing rivalry. During an interview on The Breakfast Club, Terence Crawford calmly addressed Gervonta Davis's comments. While he acknowledged Davis's skills in the ring, Crawford emphasized that there are different levels in boxing. He played down the banter, saying, "If he thinks he's going to come up to 147 pounds and just knock me out, he's got another thing coming." While a fight between these two American boxing stars might never take place, Crawford's focus is clear. His main priority is the fight against Canelo Alvarez.
Game here, Davis.
A little short. Well, he's talked about his maturity.
Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis are currently 3 weight classes apart, but they've both fought in similar divisions before. Crawford started his career in the lightweight division, which is where Tank Davis is now a world champion. Crawford went on to become the undisputed champion at super lightweight, a division where Tank has also won a title. After dominating at super lightweight, Crawford moved up and cleared out the welterweight division. Last year, he made his debut at 154 pounds. Meanwhile, Davis has stayed at 135 pounds, where he still holds the World Boxing Association world title, knocking out every opponent he faces. Tank has previously said he would knock Crawford out, likely in jest, but Crawford, the bigger man, has warned him not to bite off more than he can chew.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
See, okay. What about, everyone's talking about Errol fight.
Although a fight between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis is unlikely to happen, some people think it wouldn't be an easy win for Crawford. In an interview with Real Life Productions, multi-division world champion Roy Jones Jr. called it a good damn fight, clearly believing it would be a competitive match if the two ever faced off, just below the welterweight limit. Jones said he sees Crawford as the clear favorite unless he faces someone much bigger, but he warned not to underestimate Tank. If they fought at about 145 pounds, that's a good damn fight, Jones said, making it clear he thinks Tank has a real chance.
But Crawford, on the other hand, I don't see nobody around that's gonna be the beat Bud unless somebody way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that
Davis slowly finds his mark while Romero doesn't land much of anything in the round.
The reason some think Tank Davis could give Crawford a tough fight is because they both have exceptional boxing IQs, and Tank is incredibly explosive. That explosiveness is something that Errol Spence didn't have, and it's a key factor in Tank's success. An explosive fighter can go far in boxing, and that's why I was able to achieve so much in my own career, Roy Jones Jr. explained. Explosiveness keeps opponents on their toes. Meanwhile, both Crawford and Tank are focused on their own paths. Crawford is aiming for a big fight with super middleweight champion Saul Canelo Alvarez, but that would mean moving up 14 pounds in weight. Tank, on the other hand, is set to face Lamont Roach Jr. in March, before he plans to retire at the end of the year, as stated in his recent press conference. Fans of Tank can look forward to his upcoming fight with Lamont Roach Jr., which is scheduled to take place at the Barclays Center on March 1st.
If him and Tank fought at about 145, that's a good daggone fight. You understand me? Matter of fact, I'm saying that's a good damn fight. You understand me? Because they both have very high IQs, and Tank is very explosive. See, that's the one thing Tank got.
Of anything in the round.
While a fight between Terrence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez seems like it's on the horizon, Gervonta Tank Davis has now thrown his name into the mix. The 2025 boxing calendar is packed with exciting matchups, and fans are hoping some of these fights come to life. One of the most anticipated fights is Shakur Stevenson against Tank Davis, a bout that has been postponed despite initially looking set to happen. Davis's co-trainer Kenny Ellis has accused Stevenson of avoiding the fight, claiming that even if Stevenson wins his next match, he'll find a way to claim an injury, like hurting his hands. Ellis told Mill City Boxing, even if his hand isn't really hurt, he'll say it is. That's just a tactic to buy time. For the latest updates on the biggest boxing news, events, and moments, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss any of our quality content. Until next time, peace out.